If you're striving to become the best version of yourself while learning from the experiences of other successful people, this is the podcast for you. Welcome to the Transformation Chamber.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Transformation Chamber. I am here with the intelligent, the smart, the beautiful Billyssia Pierce. What's up, lady? How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. I'm great.
I know, right? So we've been over here trying to get things going, but we finally got it going. So we're excited. I'm super excited to have you on the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Man, yeah, it's always a blessing to have a phenomenal, intelligent, go-getter on the show, especially a woman of color. And so I'll tell you guys a little bit about Billyssia, and then we'll jump right into it. She is the owner of BeFit Foods. She has 2 locations in Houston, and not only do they have locations, they do meal prep, delivery. It's just an amazing.
We're your lifeline to a healthy and fit lifestyle.
Man, say that again.
Your lifeline to a healthy and fit lifestyle.
Okay, your lifeline to a healthy and fit lifestyle. For all my people who are not from Houston, look it up. It's an amazing company that's doing great things here in Houston. She's also a certified personal trainer. You know what I mean?
In my past life.
In her past life. And then she is a philanthropist, I would say, because you have a nonprofit as well that does some amazing things, which we'll
me, myself, and my mom and my sister.
Your sister. Yeah. They are doing some amazing things in the community, and we'll be sure to get into that as well. But let's just jump into who is Billyssia. I love to take the time out to get to know you and your path to getting to where you are today. What's that story look like?
Man, first, who I would say, I think first, I am a servant. I think that's the most important aspect of my life. I think no matter what it is that I'm doing, anything or what I'm involved in, if it's not helping someone else or helping others to be better, then it doesn't serve much purpose. Especially if it's just for me, I get more pleasure in knowing that I'm doing more for others than just for myself. So servant, definitely. Free spirit. You know, I'm not the best with words describing myself, but
it's okay.
Above all else, I would probably say resilient. Hopefully my mom's not watching this, but unfuckwittable.
Oh, hey, I love
it. In my life, I live fearless and I don't allow anything to stop me. The things that I see in my future are going to happen even bigger and better than I think or expect them to. So I'm just living and enjoying life as it comes and enjoying the journey. I think the journey actually is the most beautiful part. We think that the bad things that happen in life are supposed to make us feel bad and stop us from where we're going. But those are the things that help us to get where we're going. They build us. It builds us into the person that we're supposed to be to get to where we're supposed to be. So
absolutely. I identify with being a servant first. I think if you aren't using your life to serve others, what are you really living for? Right? And that allows you to truly have purpose and passion about what you're doing if your goal is always to make someone else's life better or easier, right? And so I love that you said that. So just kind of getting the idea of where you're from. Are you Houston originally? Or
Angleton,
Texas.
Angleton, Rocheron area, Brazoria County.
Okay.
I grew up in Angleton, Texas. I went to Angleton High School.
Okay.
My family is from Rocheron, and I always have to say we're from the real Rocheron, the countryside of Rocheron. You know, they're building it now,
right,
all these subdivisions.
Yeah.
But when we grew up, and still now, there's only one corner store there. There's but
it's like one of those. I don't know a lot about Rocheron except I used to go out there every now and then to like a little small church out there because one of my friends had a church
it's probably my
there.
family church probably.
But it's one of those, like, how many do you know the population are like?
Oh no,
small though.
Just my family. And we're all cousins. Let my mom tell it. We all cousins.
That's
No.
crazy. Okay.
We pretty much are, though.
So you kind of gave me the answer already, but what was the intention when you started Be Fit Foods, which is grown to be a staple in Houston now? What was your thought process?
My honestly, this is and I think this is very important. I like to talk about this because my intentions weren't as big at the time, and at the time, I'm a certified personal trainer, and I've always had an entrepreneurial mindset. So of course you're thinking of what else can I add to my brand?
Exactly.
What else can I do to bring in more income, just to continue to build on what I'm doing? But the biggest aspect of that, as a personal trainer, you know that you cannot out train a bad diet.
Absolutely.
You just can't. So for my clients to reach their ultimate success, I knew that they had to eat healthy. And I'm not a dietitian, but I had years of nutrition behind me, and I knew what it took. I know what it takes to eat healthy. I know what it takes to live a healthy lifestyle. So, and I knew what those meals looked like for my clients. They didn't. A lot of people that want to eat healthier and they want to live a better lifestyle, they don't know what that looks like. And so for me to be able to offer them that, I thought it was going to be just something small that I offered my clients.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now,
And so at the same time I was a personal trainer, I had a corporate job. And so within 4 months, not only did I have to stop training, I had to quit my corporate job.
That's
and 4 months after Be Fit Foods, I'm here almost 6 years later, and I've only within that time have worked for Be Fit Foods.
That's amazing.
And so I think the most important thing about that is, it's good to have plans for our lives. It's good to have some structure on where you think or where you want to go. But as I said, being a servant, you don't get to decide what your life is going to be. So me thinking that Be Fit Foods was going to be something small, and my training, which was Be Fit Solutions, was still going to be the big thing.
Right.
God said, yeah, I just got you into Be Fit Solutions so I could take you here.
To Be Fit Foods.
And so I think it's very important for people to know that even if you feel like, you're very passionate about something, or you're in a position that maybe you want to be there, maybe you don't want to be there, but something is keeping you there, you just have to wait.
Right.
You have to wait. That doesn't mean to stop going after the things that you want to go after. That doesn't mean stop throwing those things out there to see what's going to stick or what could be successful. That just means that you're going to stay where you are, or you're going to make the best of where you are.
Absolutely.
And
I love that.
yeah.
I mean, it reminds me of this saying, there's a difference between being stuck and being patient.
Yes.
Right. So
yes.
you sometimes we think we're stuck, but no, you're just being held in a waiting area.
In a waiting
and
area.
And the thing is about being patient, waiting is still an action word, because while you're waiting, you're still working. You're still developing your craft.
Always.
You know what I mean? You're still going out researching and getting better for when that opportunity or whatever that next exit or doorway is, you're prepared to walk through it. Like you were prepared to start Be Fit Foods, but that wasn't in your plan. You had no idea.
I didn't even, it's funny because my grandmother, who in the beginning stages, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for her. My grandma can walk 10 times around the kitchen more than I can. I mean, she can walk me out the kitchen.
That's what's up.
But when I first started, and she's like, Billyssia cooking, she doesn't even know how to cook. I didn't know how to cook. I can hook up a recipe, but I knew healthy eating. I knew healthy eating. It doesn't take much to eat healthy, and it's not. You don't have to put too much into it to have a healthy meal. And so I did know that.
How uncomfortable was it for you to make up in your mind that even though I don't know how to cook, I'm about to start cooking, not only for myself, but for other people?
It wasn't uncomfortable at all. It wasn't uncomfortable at all. I'm a little different. I think that I can do anything. that I put my mind to. And when I'm in it, I'm going to figure it out.
Right.
I'm going to figure it out. Like I said, within those 4 months, I tried to juggle it all. I tried to keep my corporate job, and when I had my corporate job, I would get off work and I would go home and cook for Be Fit Foods, and I would stay up all night, maybe taking 15 to 20 minute increment naps while something was on the stove. And then at about 6 a.m., it was time for me to shower and go back to work. I repeatedly did that for weeks until that 4th month, it was either quit or I was going to get fired.
Right.
Things weren't, I wasn't, it was hard to juggle.
Right.
And so, my family encouraged me. They're like, what are you waiting on? Like, I'm like, I can't pay my bills.
Right.
I mean, I could, but, I wasn't good with managing money. And so it looked like I couldn't pay my bills.
Wow.
So
Man, can you just touch on that real
yeah.
quick?
Oh,
though,
no, that's a
please?
whole segment.
Yeah. Can you?
That's a whole.
You thought you couldn't pay your bills, but managing money
That's
helped.
and I tell people now. I know it's something scary to talk about. It's something that makes people uncomfortable. But if you don't know your business to the cent, you're gonna fail.
Wow.
I failed so many times. I failed and I had to start from zero, but that's where that resilience comes from. And everyone's not built like that, so you go under. But it's not something that you don't have to start there. If you put it in front of you in the beginning of your business, you have to look at it. Are you just starting this business to look good for Instagram? Or are you starting to be the best on a Fortune 500 company? You have to build your business in the beginning stages like you're going into the Fortune 500.
I love it.
You have to.
Okay, so you talked about being resilient. You talked about how you feel like whatever you put yourself into, you can figure it out. What do you think that mindset came from? Like, what is internally happening for you to have that type of faith or belief?
It's the faith. It's the faith. When I was a young girl, my mom, she got me, I used to go to Bible study, and there was a lady, we moved to Beeville, Texas for a couple of years. My mom was working there, and my family, me and my siblings were really close because we were all we had. So my escape sometime was going to Bible study, and there was a lady who used to come and have an additional Bible study with me. But I used to like to go because she used to take me to McDonald's for the Bible study. And I don't remember, my mom always has to remind me, I want to meet her again. I don't even remember who she was, but that's where it started. That's where that seed was planted. And although my mindset was, I'm going to get chicken nuggets, she was born
into you.
Yeah, she was.
That's amazing.
And years later, I started going to a Labor of Love Christian Fellowship Church, and my pastor Alvin Gills, helped continue to develop that mindset of you can have whatever it is. All you need is to believe.
Right.
And just the belief and the faith that he had, it allowed me to say, you know what? It's true.
That's amazing.
It's true. So I think it's always those people along the way that continue to remind you this can happen. And so at this point now, when I say I'm unstoppable, as who is that? Lil Wayne that says they can't stop me even if they stop me.
Right.
Like they're going to be roadblocks. I'm still going to get there.
I love it.
And I'm in no rush to get there because my life is amazing, even when it's bad.
Yeah.
Because I know that God is building me. He's structuring me. When I tell you that those things that being irresponsible and mismanaging money and not understanding a lot of things, that's what the journey is for. I'm learning those things. I'm not going to beat myself up because at 18, 19, 20, 25, I didn't understand and I failed. I'm 33 now, the owner of a multi-million-dollar company, and I'm learning it.
I love it.
I'm going to fail some more.
Yeah.
But I'm learning it.
Absolutely.
You know, and
giving
so,
yourself space and room to become.
Yeah. I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm not stunting for the gram.
Yeah.
Y'all can, if you see, you're going to see the failures. If you don't see the fail, a lot of people, you know, the Instagram is a lot scary because people think that you're just perfect.
Exactly.
And I'm like, man, I feel like I share a lot of failures.
Right.
And when they look at you, they still just see the successes. And I'm not mad about it. I think it gives people the inspiration to say, you know, I know, especially other entrepreneurs, they know the struggle. And so when we see other people still succeeding in spite of the struggle, it makes us a lot better and it gives us some ease.
Absolutely.
It gives us some ease.
I love what you said because that was one of the premise that this show is built on. I always tell people, I'm like, you know, people look at your Instagram, all they see is the wins, the highlights. But I want people to know behind the closed doors when nobody's watching, what are you really going through?
Yeah.
What allowed you to build this level of character, resiliency, to be able to have a successful company, multi-million-dollar company like you're running right now?
Yeah.
And kudos and congratulations to you, by the way. I don't think I've ever been able to say that to you. And
Thank you. I
I'm glad I'm able
appreciate
to say
that.
What was the transition? Because the way you got into fitness, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, I read this, you were doing pageants, beauty pageants. You didn't think I was going to bring that up. I do my research. So you competed for Miss Texas USA?
I did.
Was it?
I did.
Okay, tell me a little bit about that life and that transition. Sorry
Okay,
to go so far back.
So the pageantry started junior year. So like I said, I'm from a smaller town,
right.
from the country, Angleton, Texas, and we have a Brazoria County fair. Mm-hmm. It's a week-long fair, and before it starts, they have a pageant, and someone from each high school in different cities in the county one person represents each city.
Wow.
So
each county or each city?
Each city. Okay. So in Brazoria County, there's different cities.
Yeah.
And my high school nominated me to represent Angleton for the Brazoria County Fair.
This is hilarious.
And so I'm like, okay, that's when popularity puts you in position for something you're not qualified for. Kind of like, well, never mind. We won't go there. We won't go into politics. But so.
Oh yeah, I know. I already, yeah.
So I'm like, okay, you know, I'm excited. You're excited that you're nominated, but then the truth is, you got to prepare. There's a real thing happening here. So, you know, the good thing is in pageantry, my mom was a hairdresser, so, you know, my hair was always good, but, and my granny, she always, she encouraged me to do it as well. So, you know, she helped, get me there, helped with, all of the, finances and stuff like that. So we kind of just made it a thing, like my whole family, and, we started with a small pageant, and we kind of liked it. It was kind of, you know, we got to travel and not only that, it was building me, like all of these things. It was just building
like
me.
Another time in your life when that's not what you were planning to do
at all,
but you got into it,
and it had nothing to do with. I wasn't meant to be Miss Texas USA. You know,
wow,
that wasn't for me. But Miss Texas USA helped build character in me. It helped build posture in me. It helped me understand that fitness and health and wellness is important.
As I'm hearing you talking, it's like I get this overwhelming sense of optimism, no matter.
Man, because you have no idea the greatness that's inside of me. And I say that as a vessel of what God's using, not Billyssia doing these things.
Right.
I get to be the vessel in what God's trying to put out. And it is so dope. Like, I'm just like, what? What are you doing? And the only reason that I speak on it so profoundly and so surely is because of that belief. It's already I already know, like, what I think. Like, I already think I'm gonna be I'm great.
Yeah.
But that doesn't what God has exceeds what I.
Absolutely.
And so it just amazes me too. It amazes me
love
too.
it.
So I get to watch what God's doing. It's not like I'm taking this credit, although I do respect myself and acknowledge that I'm overcoming the things that were hard for me to still play this position. So I'm not discrediting myself. I have acknowledged that I'm the vessel, but it still takes for me to have that passion and that drive to see it through.
Man, I love it. So you talk about medicine being like a healing tool. I mean, sorry, food being a healing tool, which there's one of the great philosophers. I don't know if it was Aristotle or Socrates. One of them say, "Let thy food be thy medicine." I don't know if you ever heard that. Sorry, I'm misquoting it, but I'll put it in the episode notes.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
So could you speak to that about what the importance of healthy eating, dieting, and food?
And I didn't understand this. Like I said, I grew up in Angleton and Roche Sharon, and we're used to both of my grandmas can throw down. I mean, from scratch. So we're eating good. And we didn't understand, growing up, we didn't understand the importance of healthy eating and low sodium and high fats and all of these things. We're just like, put that in there. That's what makes it taste good.
As long as it tastes good.
Throw a little bit more in there.
3 sticks of butter.
So beef and foods actually saved my life. I still struggle. Like I still like eating bad. We're going to the restaurant and I don't want to look at the healthy choices. But at my house, you go in my refrigerator, it's going to be healthy.
Right.
Because I don't have that 100% discipline. If it's in my house, I'm going to go eat. I'm going to eat it.
I'm the same way.
So you have to.
Don't even bring it in the house. Yeah.
And so a lot of the things, a lot of the sicknesses and illnesses that we're facing today, majority come from what we're putting in our bodies. And when we realize, I mean, just imagine when a lot of people do the yo-yo dieting and whatnot. But when you are dieting or when you're eating well, you feel good.
You feel amazing.
You feel good. Yeah. And because it's given your body the opportunity to function in its full capacity. It's giving your body to function in its full capacity. But when we're putting stuff that don't belong in our bodies, it has to figure out where do I put this? Where does this go, or what needs to happen?
And your body tells you.
It tells you.
It's so funny because I do this at least once or twice a year. I just go on a hardcore fast, 5 days, 7 days. I mean, I'm talking no food at all, just to cleanse myself out, pure water. And even though sometimes I deal with headaches and ups and downs, my body by the end of it feels amazing.
It does.
Like just to clean it out, because I know I struggle with just telling on myself. I struggle with eating clean consistently all the time. And that's why I resort to, okay, every now and then I'm about to detox like crazy, like get all this out, but I still do my best. So,
but imagine if we lived a healthy lifestyle, and whenever you wanted to eat bad, I don't think twice. I don't think twice.
True.
Because consistently I'm eating well. But when I want to eat something bad, I don't think twice about it.
Okay, so and very recently you were recognized as the top 50 Black professional entrepreneurs. Can you tell me a little bit about that, the organization that recognized you, and then what does that say? How do you feel after accomplishing what you have to be recognized at such a young age too? We're not talking about how young you are.
Yeah, I'm always thrilled and humbled when other people respect and that I respect within the community acknowledge me. That is D Mars, who's been in the game for decades.
Yeah.
Shout out to D Mars, and who's always supported everything that I do, which is really important. I feel like those who have come before us to reach back and acknother.
Right, I see you. Just to say, I see you. What you're doing, and keep it up.
And he always does.
That's
and
awesome.
So just to be amongst other movers and shakers in the community who respectively are making amazing moves, to be amongst them it's truly a blessing. I think that those kind of feelings, I mean, you do what you do anyway without the accolades. And no matter any accolade, that I think what's most important for people to realize is that no matter what the accolade is, I thought that of myself before.
Right.
So I don't have to receive it.
Right.
But to receive it, it means even more.
I tweeted this the other day or something like, it was something like, you got to see it before you see it. You know what I mean? And you got to see it before anybody else see it.
You got to.
and that's the way that.
And when you do, they gonna see it.
Exactly.
They gonna see it.
You got to walk in it and believe in it. Believe it before it even comes.
That's all. That's all. I always say that my physical self is here currently, but my mindset is already where I'm going.
Man, I love it.
Man, I just feel like, even if my bank account says 0 and I'm pushing my way to get back to a better place, I'm still there.
Okay, so can you tell us about a life event that like almost just completely just knocked you out of the game and how you overcame that, that you had to climb? Either that or some significant time where it was like, it's easy for me to quit right now. I could completely walk away. I'm done. I'm tired. But I'm pushing through.
Yeah. Let's get a little candid. I think there was a time where the holidays, business is a lot slower, and business had already that year was declining. More and more meal prep companies were becoming more and more prevalent. Right. You had all these multi-million-dollar companies that had the capital to reach everywhere in the United States. Right. Like, I'm not mentioning them.
No need to mention competitors. I was just about to say
so business was declining, and I didn't even see it. And that's why I say it's important to know every cent. I'm thinking I'm on the rise. My CPA, Bianca Carey, who's the most amazing person in my business.
I will put her in the notes. Just in case
my
you
God!
Guys, want to get in
and
touch.
She's also a friend of mine. She's sending me my reports, and I'm like, this isn't making sense. Mm-hmm. Like, how is this my number? And last year, this time, I was like, no, what are you doing? What are you doing wrong?
Right.
It wasn't what she was doing wrong. It was what I was doing wrong by not looking at my finances. And I'm thinking that I'm building this company, and in my head, it can only go up. Right. It can't come down. Ignorance. So my business was declining, and I didn't recognize it the entire year. In the holidays, which are always slower months for me, October to December, it was hard. It was hard. It was hard for me to make rent, and I was getting behind on everything. My employees were receiving their payments a couple of days late, their paychecks a couple of days late, changing the pay period. Instead of Thursday, we moved it to Friday, and then Friday comes and, well, let me pay you on, it got really bad. Right. And there was one day that I went to my landlord to drop off some late rent. And she told me, maybe this entrepreneurship is just not for you.
Man, that's tough.
And that was, I couldn't believe, in my head, I'm like, she not know who the fuck I am? Nah, she don't. You're not paying her. Right. They don't need to know. Yeah. And I think that was an awakening. Man, I think I'm getting emotional about it because it never even crossed my mind to think that this wasn't for me, or for somebody to even think that I couldn't handle this.
And
but
say it out loud to your face.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
But it was the truth. It was the truth. It wasn't my truth. But in that moment, if I didn't get it together and focus on what the focus and priority should have been, then I wasn't cut out for it.
Wow.
And so it put things in perspective for me. And like I said, my CPA, Bianca, we got together, and I'm just like, I got to figure this out. And we made it through. Like, I make it through everything else. And so in my head, and I think especially in our culture, we think that the struggle is just embedded in us, and it's okay to struggle.
This is very true. Yeah.
No, you're not meant to struggle. And then when you get some success, you think that it's not meant for you. Like, when it finally starts to happen, you're like, oh, I feel bad. Why? This is how you're supposed to live.
Exactly.
This is how you're supposed to live. But we think that it's okay to struggle. It's not.
I'm going to just speak on that a little bit. We were made to prosper.
Yes.
But because we were born in the deficit, or born in the hood, or born in some circumstance that we became accustomed to, our uncles, our aunties are accustomed to it, our neighbors are accustomed to it, we think, oh, this is life.
This is life.
Not having
paycheck
enough,
to paycheck.
Paycheck to paycheck is life. Not having enough is life. Borrowing this and borrowing that, that's life.
I'm going to pay her late again next month. It's okay. She cool with it.
And so you start to see success, and like you said, you question yourself, wait a minute. Am I supposed to be happy this much? Am I supposed to have this much money in the bank? And then we find a way to self-sabotage if we don't believe, going back to that belief, if we don't believe that we belong there.
Yeah.
So it's important to sharpen your mind before you even get there. Man, you speaking.
Man, no, you are. You are. It's true. It's true.
I have to, obviously I have to ask this, coming from where you've come from, where you are now, what is your message, to, I want to say, to young black girls, but I'm gonna say to people, because really the game you kicking is for everybody. What is your message to people?
You have to see it. You have to see it. And you have to live your life for you. Everyone, especially when you're younger, you're like, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? It's not just going to, it's not something that you are born with, or it's not something that is, once you reach a certain age, that's going to come to you, but you have to just live that journey and it's going to come to you. My purpose is not just Be Fit Foods. Be Fit Foods has given me the platform to fulfill my purpose. Man, so now there are, when I was 18 to 25 and thought I had it figured out, and made all those decisions based on what I thought was right, and the failures that I had. It wasn't just about that. It's about going back, that now that I've gotten past that, I can go back to those young girls who are in that position that are trying to figure it out, or not just young girls, people, period. This life isn't about, it's not a popularity contest. It's not about what you have on and the things that you have. It's about the love and what you're giving.
Absolutely.
In this world.
Absolutely.
What are you doing to make that Chanel bag? Although I love those nice things. It's something about the way nice clothes are stitched and something that makes you feel good. But that doesn't make me, because I can have on a $5 shirt and you're going to think it costs $5,000. Those things do not matter. It's about who you are and what you're giving to other people that really matter. What do you make them see? What good do you make them see in themselves by looking at you?
The clothes don't make the man makes the clothes.
It's so true.
Right.
It's so true. So those things, although it's not, I hate when people say, oh, you don't have to. I mean, I like those things, but it's not what I'm focused on. My focus is kingdom building, and my focus is people building and just giving out love. I think that if we all focus on ourselves and push out more love, I think that we would be a better nation. I think that we would be better people. But a lot of times we're just focused on what can we get out of it.
Yep. Self instead of service.
So I think what I want people to understand is live the life that is for you, and believe in who you are. Believe in who you are. Reach in and figure out, what is it that I want out of this life, because you can create it. I feel like I'm really creating this this amazing woman that I get to kind of sculpture and create, and you become the artist.
So it sounds like first of all, I think that was amazing, just to see. You said something like, just live the life, like live your life. And a lot of time we are blocking ourselves from our blessings just by overthinking, right?
Man, we overthink. I was telling me and my associate, one of my team members were talking today, and I was reading. Last week I read Atomic. Oh gosh, I just read the book.
It's okay.
Anyway, I read a book.
I'll figure out the name of the book and put it
I'll
in
let
the
you
show
know
notes.
what it is. It helps you to realize that the structure in your life is what's important. And so we overthink stuff so much.
Mm-hmm.
We overthink stuff so much that we think that life is meant to kind of tear us down.
Right.
When you live simple.
Yeah.
Live simple, live within your means. Who are you trying to impress? I'm not trying to impress anybody but myself. But myself. I really truly want to reach my full capacity. There's so much in me and I don't want to miss it. But I'm not in a rush because I know that it's all coming. It's all coming.
Absolutely.
But I think that we try to live up to these expectations that we've created in our minds based on other people.
Absolutely.
And it will destroy you.
Absolutely. I think in my life, the most freeing thing that I ever did was the day I decided to stop caring what other people think. It was like
I don't.
Weights lifted off my shoulder.
I don't.
You know, and I had it bad. You know,
really?
Young. I had it bad. I was dressing for other people. I'll never forget.
Yeah,
like the stuff I was wearing and buying was just because I needed you to say I look cool. And when I decided to like tear that down, I was like, yo, it's so much more life to be lived.
And people flock to you more because they love realness.
Absolutely.
They're like, man, she don't even care.
Exactly.
That's really who she is. And I don't care how you feel about it.
Absolutely.
I don't care how you feel about it. And people want to be around people like that. They don't want, if you coming in trying to be like Joel over here,
it's already one Joel.
We'd rather hang with Joel.
Exactly. Instead of trying to be.
Why are you going to come over here? You know, so I think you have to, and you know why that's important? Because people like to compete and compare, but we cannot compete because what Joshua has to give to the world, I can't give. But what Joshua has, I may lack, but I can pull from you.
Absolutely.
I can pull from you.
Absolutely.
But instead people look at it like I'm a failure because Joshua can do that and I can't. Nah, that's why Joshua was created to help me be able to do that better.
Absolutely.
You know?
Partnership.
We have to be able to, if you can't pull something that you're not good at from someone within your circle, and you just look at them as better than you or you're jealous of that, you need to check yourself.
Absolutely.
You got to check yourself.
There's a fundamental issue at that point. If you're still walking around in the world and all you can see is how good everybody else is doing, but you can't take inventory of your own life and see how blessed you are.
Oh man.
So, so you have a nonprofit. Let's talk a little bit about that with like you said, with your mom and your sister. And you already touched on it, but I want to make sure we make mention of it. It's
Busy Bee Foundation is not currently active, although we do actively still do the philanthropic work. The nonprofit is not active, which is more so my fault.
That's all good.
But it does not stop us from doing the work, you know. And I think it was just something that it's who my mom is. It's just who my mom is. She's gonna give. She's gonna give of herself. She's gonna. That's what she produces. She produces love. And so, in every aspect. And it's just something that we were able to collectively do. And, now I think the platform that we use it as, it's Beef It Foods. You know, we give it, every month. We don't voice it. We don't tell anyone. There are plenty of monies and works that we've put out that it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who gets to know about it.
Exactly.
All that matters is that we're doing it.
The work is being done.
The work's being done.
I love it.
I think that's something that I'm most proud about is that I grew up on love. And even in which also produces character and integrity and principle. A lot of people don't live on principle, but I do. And so when you're able to give back to the community, it just makes you feel good. When you're able to send people to college, when you're able to feed people, when you're able to buy them books, when you're able to pour into somebody, that's all that matters.
I read that your main thing is you love helping people that is in no position to be able to help you back. Mm-hmm. Like that's kind of your purpose or what you're here to do. Not looking for anything in return, just to give. Mm-hmm. And it's so funny when you make your mission giving, you're going to always make sure you have something to give.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
You know what I mean? But a lot of people, if you only worry about self, you're going to always feel like you don't have enough. So I'll leave that at that. So let's move to what I like to call the obituary question.
I saw that. I'm like, why you got an obituary? I'm not trying to die on it. Why? What is this? I'm out, Joel. I'm out.
No, okay. Let's assume
you trying to kill me at the end,
right? No, we all know that you're gonna live to 150 years old, right? So let's just pretend that we're at your funeral, which is kind of a dark part of the interview. We'll just go with it.
Okay.
What is it that you think people are saying about you, or what is that your obituary is saying about you once you've left this earth?
Man.
See, I told you I was going somewhere with it.
She crazy, but I love her. There's a hardcore on the outside of me that only people who are personal to me experience. If you're close to me, you experience that hardcore because I see greatness. When I look at people, I see the good in them. And so when you tell me what you want out of life, I'm that mirror. And so, but I think it's too hard. It's too hard, especially my family. I'm so hard on them, but it's because I love them the most. And I think it's been one of the best things that ever happened to me because it helped me to realize that relationships were important. Mm-hmm. And so when I'm looking at you, my mind for some reason is just business focused. It's just business focused.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that.
It's just like, I think even in just relationships, we're thinking like, what? How is this going to, we're solution based and we don't have time to ponder on anything because in my business, when a problem arises, we solve it. Yeah. We solve it. So even in the personal life, what you crying for? Mm-hmm. What you crying for? This how we gonna handle this, or what did you come to me for? Mm-hmm. Because when most people come to me, they want to know the truth and they want a solution.
Wow.
But
that's so interesting. I'm gonna just put something right there because a lot of times, men, and I'm probably telling on myself, I get in trouble for always having a solution. And most times, I hear people say, I just want you to listen. Like, I don't want you to always have.
And that's hard for us.
Very hard.
It's like, why you want to just lay in it?
Right. Like, let's solve this.
Yeah. But I think it's important to recognize those feelings. And if you want to be there, sometimes we do just have to be. Mm-hmm. Now, it's hard for me to be that person, but I'm trying because, my friends and my family, they want that. And so I realized that with my relationships, especially with my family, I had to be intentional about making them work. And just because I'm this way doesn't mean that I get to be that way with you when that doesn't work for you.
Exactly.
And so if I want a relationship with you, I have to be intentional about how I can communicate effectively for both of us to be good. Mm-hmm. Not just, this is who I am. And why did you come to me?
Right.
Don't come to me.
Right.
It's not fair.
Absolutely.
Because they respect you and they don't just always want to see business be. They want to see sister. Mm-hmm. They want to see daughter. Mm-hmm. They want to see cousin. They want to see niece. They want to see friend. Mm-hmm. And I realized that I didn't know how to be those things. Mm-hmm. I only knew how to be hard and focused on my journey.
How did you, it's so funny because I've been, it's a lot of talks lately, especially with some of my friends, amongst my friends, about Black women getting a stigma of being strong and how that's not actually a good stigma they are strong, but us expecting women to be like that all the time because of all that y'all have to deal with and endure. Oh, she'll be all right. She's strong.
I mean,
enough.
because we kind of, I mean, it's there's a lot that goes into this, but as a Black woman, we feel like we on our own, you know, and this is gonna catch a lot of hell. But I feel like the Black man does not love us the way that we love him. Like, we want to protect the Black man, but I don't see him wanting to protect us like we want to protect him. So we just be strong for both of us. We be strong. I can handle it.
Man, okay. All right. Let's see how do I respond to that. So, no, I think that's good, and I appreciate your honesty. I was on a panel the other day, and this gentleman had the women apologize to the men, and the Black women apologize to the Black men, and the Black men apologize to the Black women for these feelings that we don't talk about, that we need to discuss.
We don't talk about it.
And so
we just want to be hard.
We want to be hard. We want to just move forward. So here's a thought process, and I'm recognizably going down this lane on the transformation chamber, and because I think it's good.
Yeah.
So my theory is that, and I haven't flushed it all the way out, but my theory is that some trauma comes from slavery, first of all, right? Because before, and if you're also looking at a lot of foreigners they probably didn't go through slavery, the man was all about taking care of the family, being the head, protecting, providing, and all these things. But the Black man's psyche, right, and the Black woman too, just the things that happened to us during slavery kind of broke down some things, systematic things that help build good families, good quality families.
I agree.
Which is why a lot of Black men end up in jail, even though we're also being disproportionately arrested unjustly. But the way the system was built. But also some of it is that, we just a lot of us don't recognize or even know how to be that. And chances are we probably grew up without dad, and without his dad wasn't around. So where was it that this man actually got to figure out how to do that? Now, what I will say is, I think there's been a change in tide. I think that especially since, this whole thing about everybody loving being Black now, loving being connected to Africa, doing your roots. Sisters are starting to be more natural in how they do things. Brothers are starting to embrace their natural, like who we are. I think it's a lot more change happening, but it's slow. I will say that. And so, I just only can hope that that changes over time, and that you feel different.
I think so. No, I love us. I love the Black man. I think that, I think we're so strong. I think we're so strong and resilient, and it's, we're strong because it's what we've always had to be. And so, I'm not taking anything away from that. I think that the conversations just need to continue to happen, and we're going to get through it. I think we're definitely going to get through it.
Okay, so
I don't even know if I'm fit for this conversation, but it's just how I feel a little bit. But I don't like to say it because I feel like it takes away the love that I have.
Right.
For us. But
no, again, I appreciate you for being open and honest and vulnerable.
Yeah.
I think that I could speak for some Black men, maybe not all, in saying that, I apologize that you feel that way.
No.
And no, I'm just saying, like, I think my apology is not because just like this one-off instance.
Right.
I just think if we
could do better.
We could all do better.
We could
because
do better.
Sometimes Black men also feel like, we feel like we don't quite even understand our own sisters, right? So it's just that, again, we have to recognize, we both have to look at each other and say, okay, look, we've been through some stuff.
Yeah.
Slavery did a lot more than we can even imagine, right? Not just in relationships, in families, and how we raise our kids, and how we educate ourselves. Going back to, like you said, knowing every cent of your business.
Yeah.
It just messed up our psyche in a way. And that's what we're fighting for. We're fighting for, hey, you guys need to recognize that not only are we pushed back by 400 years, right? But we also,
and that's the beauty of it. Like, look at, we're, no, I can't even put into words the progress. Just imagine if we, if we didn't have those, that time away.
Right.
Like if I just think I think we're amazing beings.
Oh, we're special people.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it's in the history. The problem is a lot of people want to start history right at slavery.
Yeah.
You got to go
it's
before slavery.
that.
Yeah. To see what we really are made of and things that we really were able to accomplish and contribute to society. So, okay, man, listen. Hey,
I know this could go on. Huh?
All right. So I'm going to go and do rapid fire.
Okay. We passed the obituary. I made it.
You made it past the obituary questionnaire. So rapid fire is, the only rule is you have to answer the question as fast as you can. Okay.
Okay.
And so it'll start with, I'll just say a word and you say the first thing that word makes you think of. And then you finish the sentence and we might do a this or that type of thing.
Okay.
Just the first thing that you think of.
Oh,
one
God.
word, 2 words, however you want to do it.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to start with legacy.
Building.
Grind.
Unstoppable.
Melanin.
Beautiful.
Favorite song.
Oh, probably something ratchet.
Okay. Favorite book.
Oh man, I have so many. The Four Agreements.
Billyssia Pierce is
Phenomenal, great. No words.
That's good. Yeah.
No words.
If I could teleport anywhere in the world, I would go to
The present. I'm living.
Hey, I like that. What impresses me most in a partner is
Confidence.
okay. And you already answered this one: classy, bougie, or ratchet. You already answered that.
I'm all three.
I knew you were going to say that. That's exactly why I threw that in there. Okay. Yes or no? Would you ever ask someone to marry you?
Hell no.
Okay. And then this or that: love or money?
Love.
Oh, I already knew that. Text or phone calls?
Depends on who it is.
Morning, noon, or night?
Morning.
Morning. And I think you did this already, but I was going to say describe yourself in 3 words. You can take another shot at it if you
resilient,
want to. Mm-hmm.
unfuckwittable, and great.
I love that. Okay. And the people want to know. What are you listening to? What are you watching? What are you reading?
Man, I wish I could phone a friend because my sister forwarded me this album. I gotta cheat because she is jamming. This girl is jamming. I gotta share it.
I'm curious to know.
Kiana Lede.
Okay, I haven't heard of her.
Man, and so that's the ratchet part of me. I'm always listening to rap. So I'm like, B, what is wrong with you? You that's why you don't got no man. You too. What is wrong?
Oh, boy.
Be a little more feminine and slow it down.
Yeah.
And she sent that to me, and I'm just loving the vibes.
I love it.
I love it. So,
Okay. What are you watching anything?
No, I watch like the ID channel and when they say the women are crazy if they watch those killer wives shows, but I'm not crazy. I don't touch other people. I don't touch their belongings. I just like watching those shows because they're actually true stories, and it's like people are really crazy.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen some stuff.
It's crazy.
And
I just enjoy.
No,
man, that's a whole nother.
That's a whole nother podcast.
See what you doing, Dada? What are you doing?
I'm chilling, man. I try to be, I try to keep things on the up and up. Okay, and then are you any books that you recommend?
Yes. So well, it just depends. You know what? I recommend my therapy. Oh, you know what I didn't touch on that is very important?
Let's do it.
Therapy. I think it's very important. Total wellness is important. You need to make sure you're eating well. You need to make sure that you have a workout regimen. You need to make sure that you're going to see your chiropractor. Dr. McClurkin, thank you so much. You need to make sure that you're going to your dentist. Dr. Batiste, thank you so much. But total wellness. And what's at the top of my list for that, besides Be Fit Foods, is Dr. Rabia. She is my therapist. Even when it's just a part of my total wellness. Just like I go get massages every week. at least every quarter if I don't need to schedule more appointments. But every quarter I'm calling her. And our last conversation, which was a couple of weeks ago, I didn't have anything to talk about. Everything was going good, but I hadn't talked to her in a couple of months. So I called her and I said, I don't have anything specific I want to talk about. I just want to make sure I'm taking care of me. And things are going great. I've even leveled up. And she's like, Billyssia, I really wish that people would understand that this is part of a lifestyle, that therapy is not just for the bad. Talk about the good. Because that's when, like we say that our mindset says that we're supposed to live in bondage and those things. If we talk about the good, we will understand and realize that we're supposed to live that way too.
Absolutely.
And so we just talked about the good things that were going on in my life. That's and awesome. How I could handle what was new. And so it was very important to me that I continue on and make it a consistent thing that I keep therapy. And a lot of people don't like to talk about it.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't like to talk about it because for the longest, we've always connected therapy with crazy. And that's not true. Therapy actually
keeps you from going.
Yeah. Because in our minds, we all probably could say we're a bit crazy, you know what I mean? And it just puts things in perspective for me, not because I'm going to someone to tell me what to do, but when I'm in there, I'm doing the talking. And a lot of times we think about things in our head, but we don't speak it. And you realize when you speak it that it either makes more sense or it makes no fucking sense at all. And it puts things in perspective for you. So therapy is something that I really wanted to touch on, and it's very important. It's a part of my lifestyle that I really love, and I appreciate that I'm able to acknowledge that it's important.
Man. All right. I think you still owe me a book, though.
Okay. So
what book are you reading right now?
My therapist recommended to me because I had a problem with control. Now, you say that you are faithful and that you believe, but you still want to control the outcome. And how can you believe if you want to hold on and dictate how it's going to go when history has proven that we can't control anything, but in our heads, we still think we can. And she said, I really want you to read Super Attractor by Gabrielle Bernstein. When I tell you, I think it may have been the first or second page, I had to shut it and I knew it was for me.
Wow.
It was for me. Just having control, let go of the control. What you think or your life is going to go how your life was planned to go anyway. You can't control it. You can't control it. All you can do is the very best that you can.
That's so beautiful. I went through a season. So I'm still A-type, but before I learned how to relinquish control and kind of maneuver with the flow, I used to, it brought so much anxiety and stress. And, you know what I mean? But then you realize that, wait a minute, I can only control my effort.
That's it.
You know what I mean? I can control my effort, but once I do what I have to do, it's out there and it's going to come back the way it comes back.
And this is how you know that it's going to work out. It's going to work out. As long as you do the very best that you can, there was nothing else you could do.
Nothing else you can do. Yeah.
And the outcome is going to be the correct outcome.
Look, now you're getting into something because a lot of times when people don't do their very best, and then now you start to worry. And a lot of people's trying to figure out, like, why do I worry so much? Are you letting worry weigh you down?
But they know why. They know why, because they were lazy. They went and laid down when they were supposed to do something that they were supposed to do. That laziness, it makes us think, see, the laziness is what stresses us. And I know because it was me.
Yeah.
You're like, my life. Nah, you just lazy. Go on. You know what you're supposed to be doing.
Exactly. Right now.
And even if it's not, if you don't have all the answers, the first step, you know what the first step is.
One step at a time.
That's it. It's going to carry you. But you don't even want to do that.
Oh, it's so good. Okay. So any last minute parting advice that you want to give, or it could even be the greatest piece of advice you received in your life to people?
Man, I'm never good with this because it's always, I just go back to believe. And you know why? Because everyone that I admire and everyone that I see that's great, it's what they've always said. It never looked good, but I always believed. I didn't think it was my life. When I tell you, when those times I started from zero again, I failed and I had nothing. I just believed. And I knew that I wasn't going to stop. They were going to have to come carry me out. I'm resilient. I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to give up. And a lot of, a friend of mine said, man, people, they don't even know your name. They just call you BFit Foods. But BFit Foods, it's given, I love it. That means that my marketing has been pretty good. But that's just a stopping point. That's a platform that you see now. But that could fall off. And Billyssia is going to be great.
Still be pressing forward. Billyssia, man, thank you so much.
Thank you. This
me.
Always blesses me. I don't even I get the questions. I don't go over them. I like to be my true, authentic self.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you for being here.
I respect you on so many levels. So even just being able to be in your presence and that you reached out to me to be on your platform, I respect it and I'm humbled to be here.
Man, that means a lot to me. All right, guys.
You're that guy, Dada. You're gonna have to pay me if
Dada,
that.
I might get a shirt. Would y'all buy my shirt if I get that? Merch coming soon. All right, guys.
I need 10%.
This has been episode 9 of the Transformation Chamber. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
That was awesome.
Thanks again for tuning in to the Transformation Chamber. To find out more about Billyssia, follow her at Billyssia Pierce and visit her website at befitfoods.com. That's BEEfitfoods.com. To find out more about the Transformation Chamber, follow me at Joshua T. Dada or visit my website at joshuatdada.com. See you soon.